Hey, 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 and welcome to the Better Empowered Girl Talk series. Over the past few weeks, we have been diving into ways to better empower you so that amongst your fears, worries, and doubts, you have some tips, some tools, some community, some support to help you get to your next level of success. Be sure to join us every Monday at 1 for Girl Talk with Virginia. So, today's topic or episode, we're going to talk about the big secret behind the power of connections. And if you are in any kind of industry, anything you're doing in life, whether it's going to school, working, trying to embark upon a new career, a business, people are always talking about go talk to this person. They may be able to help you. Go check this out. They may be able to help you. They're telling you all of these different things and different people that you need to connect with to help you build your next level of success. So today we're going to dive into secrets or some 1411 about making connections because they are very important. So, how to make connections that mean something to you and your next level of success? Well, I can tell you from firsthand experience, if I had made connections, let's say about 20 years ago, when I first graduated from college and I was trying to pursue my first teaching job. A lot of you may have heard this story several times before, but when I was first trying to find my first teaching job, I had the roughest time in the world. I got no after no after no after no. Why? Number one reason, especially when it comes to school districts, you don't know anybody. I had no connections. I didn't know anybody. I was an introvert and still, in a sense, is an introvert, but I've learned to make that an advantage instead of a disadvantage as it was 20 years ago. But 20 years ago, I finally broke through and got somebody to hire me. But guess what? If I had connections, if I had known someone in the school district, if I had known somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody else that knew the principal or knew somebody else within the school district, my journey to getting my first teaching position would have been 110% easier. But I thank God for the journey because I'm here today and I've been through it. And therefore, I am able to empower other women and other professionals to know that, hey, connections are key. So today, I'm going to dive into some key tips of how you can make connections that will get you to your next level of success a little faster, a little easier, and a little more productive than what you may have been doing these past few years. So first of all, let's talk about how you can get out there where the connections are at. Because that's the key, first of all. That's the number one secret, is to get out there to where those connections are at. How do you do that? Especially if you're an introvert, especially if you're used to staying to yourself, especially if you feel like, hey, I don't need anybody else. I can do this thing on my own. Guess what? Make some types of connections. You have to go to where they're at. You have to step out of your shells. How do you find those connections? Where are those connections at? You can find connections through your hobbies, your passions. Join some associations related to your work and your purpose. For example, if you are a school teacher, join some type of, if you teach art, join the art association. And right now, I know it's pretty hard to make connections, but believe me, connections are virtual now. With COVID going on, they're not stopping the connections. Don't get that messed up, thinking that, oh, nobody's going to meet now because of COVID. Hey, they are doing virtual now. There are a lot of virtual connections out there. So if you're an art teacher, join the art association. If you have a family member who has heart disease, join the American Heart Association. Go to those meetings, tune into those meetings. And of course, if you don't know people at first, it's okay to just sit back and watch the scene and see what's going on before you start interacting, because that's normal. You want to know what you're getting into before you get into it. And that's okay. And guess what? If you don't like one place that you've made a connection to, say with a heart association, then find another heart association that you can join, that you connect to more, that clicks with you, that's giving you more of what you need to help you get to your next level of success. Because the reason why people don't continue with connections is because they feel like they went to one meeting or they met one person associated with whatever it may be that they're trying to connect to, and it didn't work out so well. And so then they don't try again. So they're like, okay, I'm never going to another meeting. I'm never going to try to branch out and meet other people because the previous meeting wasn't so well, or the previous connection didn't go so well. No, don't let that deter you from your level up. Okay. There are people out there that's having the same passions as you, that can connect to you, that you can relate to, that's going to help you get to your next level of success. But guess what? You have to get out there and find where those connections are at. Number two, let me tell you this. What sounds come from your mouth when your mouth is closed? You guessed it, silence. No noise at all. Which means that in order to find that right connection, you have to ask other people about the types of connections that are out there for you. You have to network to see what connections work for you. Because of course, if you've been kind of introverted and you haven't really been making connections, you have to ask people you know who or what they are associated with or what they are doing to help you build your database of connections. And if the more connections that you have, or the more database that you have, information in your database or connections in your database, you can go through your database or your list of connections and just eliminate the ones that aren't working, connect with other people who you are connecting with, and start building on the ones that's working for you. Because of course, everything doesn't work for everybody, but you find the ones that work for you and you build on those connections so that you can continue building a stream of power to help you continue to your next level of success. Because guess what? Secret number 3, connections equal cash. Guess what? The people directly don't give you the cash, but guess what? They can hook you up to opportunities that give you more cash. Connect with people who have more than you. Connect with people who you're trying to be like. A lot of times people don't want to connect with people who are above them, have reached the success that they're trying to reach, because they feel like, okay, they're not going to want to help me, or no, that I'm not good enough to connect with them because they're already, at the level that I'm trying to get to. Don't be dissuaded by not connecting to people who are above the level that you're trying to get to. Those are the perfect people to give you the information, the knowledge, the keys you need to level up. You have more than you, and you have reached your goals. Those are the people that you need. The people who have more than you and who are where you want to be, those are the people. Because guess what? If they already have the cash, they can connect you to the cash. Connections equals cash. So this is what I want you to do, because connections are very powerful when it comes to you getting to your next level. You can't do it by yourself. If you have 2 or more in agreement with you, that's powerful. That's getting to that next level. That's rising to the next status. That's walking up the staircase to get to where you want to be in your level of success. This is what I need you to do to help you get to your connections that's going to get you the cash. Make a list of your goals or your projects that you're working on, or that you strive to work on, or your goals, or whatever it is you're trying to do. And then list 2 people who can help you succeed to get to your next level. Either it can be an organization or it can be an actual person themselves, but there are other people who are there where you're trying to get to, and you need to find those people. You need to get out there and find those people. You need to get out there and ask about who knows people that you need to know. You need to remember that those people can connect you with the cash, because if they already there, you need to find out how they got there. And people love teaching people what they know. A lot of times you think they're not going to want to teach me anything. I'm going to bother them. No, people love sharing their stories, their triumphs, their struggles. They love sharing their testimonies of how they got to where they are today. And if you use that information for your connections to get to your next level, cash is on the way. What you think about that? Do you think it's power in the connections? Are you ready to connect? Guess what? Connections are powerful, and they are the secret to why so many people get to their next level of success. How about this? If you don't believe it, do some research. See and research billionaires and millionaires and people who are successful in the industries that you're trying to be successful in, and see who connected them to the cash. Because there's a streamline and a connection to cash. It's a chain reaction. One person get cash, guess what? It came from somebody else's connection to get them to that level of success. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about who you need to connect to. List your goals, your projects, and then find a couple of people that can connect you to the information or the people or whatever it is you need to your next level of success. What I want you to do also is go back and look at the Better Empowered series, because last week we talked about how to develop a routine of connections, because routine is the key. So if you go back, look on Facebook or on my YouTube channel or on Instagram, you can see that there's those other series. Watch the replay, because last week we talked about how to develop a routine of connections. And if you look at that to help you develop a routine of how to make connections, it's going to help you make better connections also. Be sure to subscribe and watch, because Better Empowered is getting better and better each week. We have about 2 more episodes left in the Better Empowered series. And if you haven't watched the previous ones, you need to go back and watch them, because I'm telling you, they're banging. They're giving you valuable information. And then continue watching the Better Empowered series, because we're building and we're building and we're building and continuing to build on ways to make you better empowered. Next week, Girl Talk with Virginia, the Better Empowered series, we're going to talk about how to embrace yourself. We're still building on this Better Empowered series, and we want to tune in to how you can embrace your skills, your talents, your purpose. Those things are key. But if you don't embrace them, and if you don't love on yourself the way you need to love on yourself, and to show yourself the value and appreciation that you need and you deserve, you most definitely can't expect anybody else to do it. So guess what? Be sure to tune in next week, because we're going to talk about how you can embrace yourself. I enjoyed this series. I love teaching you all about how to be better empowered, and be sure to tune in next week, 1 p.m., to continue the Better Empowered series, where we're going to talk about how to embrace yourself. And I hope that you know that making connections is powerful. And now you know why people are always talking about how to make connections and why connections are the key, because connections are going to lead you to your cash. See you next week. I love you. Have a great, blessed day.